everyone. I hope you all are well. This is Valhalla's Most Wanted podcast.
Pipe.
And we're going to be talking about a myriad of topics. Going to be talking about a lot of things. A lot of good things. But first, let's figure out who everyone is. Hello, my name is PlatinumTrophyWife. I will be your host today. And with me, I have my co-host.
Hey, I'm Grey Wolves Gaming, and I just confused myself with the word I was literally about to comment. I looked at the stream and went, oh, if I want to point towards the stuff, I got to point towards the direction of the G on my shirt. And then I remembered gaming begins and ends with the G, and that did not help me at all. But I'm Grey Wolves Gaming.
How are you going to fix it now?
I love it.
All right. And we have this other lovely lady joining us today.
It's Becky, bitch. Oh, sorry. Also known as StealingFirst. Also known as StealingFirst.
Ruins the don't swear in the first 30 seconds.
Sorry, I read Platts.
I forgot.
Yeah, I was reading
Becky.
I was reading Platts overlay.
We're trying to be family, guys. As just like Totally Serial. This is a PG stream, so please don't fucking curse. All right. Next.
Oh. And I am Grandkai, the weird Dutch guy in this group.
Yay! We're international, guys. International. So obviously,
so am I the spokesman of Europe?
Oh, the whole of Europe. Wow.
The whole EU.
We want your complete political rundown of Brexit in 5 minutes.
Go ahead. Actually, can we make it 30 seconds?
Brexit. Bad idea.
Time's up.
Obviously, we're a bunch of streamers. We're a community who love chatting with our community members, and we love helping people out with their streaming, which is why our main topic today is we're going to discuss the struggles of streaming regularly, because I think that's something. It was actually brought up by Stealing.
Becky.
Becky. Well, I think Becky has no problem with streaming. Becky got it down.
Problems.
Becky loves the
wants to
attention.
continue.
Zero problem.
Zero problem. Let's take a selfie. But I think most streamers besides Becky struggle with this. So I thought it'd be a great topic to really have our main discussion. But first, we like to talk about just like random stuff. So do you have something you want to talk about? That's just like whatevs.
Well, I did get my affiliate.
Oh, congratulations!
There we go.
Yay!
Golf claps all around.
Hey, thank you.
Snap.
For those who don't know, twitch.tv/Grandkai.
Yep, indeed. And I'm still trying to figure out, should I do a celebration stream? What am I going to do? How long am I going to do?
36 hours.
The struggles.
Struggles. I'm having trouble with 3 hours. How the hell am I supposed to do more than that?
I don't know who would do 24. That's ridiculous.
Oh no, they're crazy people.
Ridiculous.
Crazy people.
Crazy people. Talking about 24. We let's just get into the Valhalla news, because honestly, it's a big thing. And Extra Life was just recently, and Valhalla's Most Wanted did 24-hour streams. As a community, we did like 30 hours as a community. Just because different start times and such. But yeah, and we ended up raising, I have the number somewhere.
$1,659.
There you go.
$1,600?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
$1,659 for
Damn.
What did we do last year? Does anyone remember? We broke 1,000.
It was
even.
1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 even.
Okay, we met the goal, so
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Damn, amazing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
65% increase.
For everybody, I believe it started around midnight, 2 a.m., somewhere at that time. So for me, it was 8 in the morning.
Oh, so it's perfect start time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams up on the TV, just going on. Keep streaming,
out.
keep watching.
There you go.
That's awesome. But yeah, it was
Spotting
really,
everyone.
really fun. I can't wait to do it again. I think Outlaw and I are going to do another 24-hour stream, like, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas for no reason. Like it's
you
still gonna
guys
be
have
for
fun
Extra
with that.
Life, but I don't know why.
Yeah, good luck.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
But
I don't know why we're
Extra
doing
Life
that.
is how Becky came to fruition,
Oh yes,
as you see here.
that's why.
And
Becky
actually,
is here.
Extra Life is also how I have absolutely no hair under this.
Grab
Which
the
goal
hat.
was that? Stealing.
Grab the hat. That was my personal goal for the team. If we reached the team goal in the 24 hours, which last year we fell just a little bit short after my
Yeah.
24-hour stream, that I would shave my head. So that's what I did, and so I became Heisenberg.
There we go.
Heisenberg.
There's the hat. Heisenberg.
I love it.
Eisen stealing.
Yeah. Hats and headphones don't mix.
Hats and headphones don't mix. It looks really good though. I think you look really good, Bob. To be honest.
But I'm already. You can't see it, but I'm growing actually some on a hair back already.
I mean, you can see the shade difference.
Yeah.
Like it's certain lighting, it shades in darker.
Yeah.
So.
So I found out today that people don't like Jessica Negri.
Don't like.
I'm not a fan of her. No.
What? Why?
I don't even know the name that was just said.
It's personality.
I like her, but not this month.
Hold on, I need to Google this. Who's this person? Tell me about
Jessica Negri.
I'm gonna pull up some
Famous
photos for
cosplayer.
kids.
Yeah.
She's a cosplayer.
Cosplayer, gamer, all that
A lot
stuff.
of people, a lot of people don't like that she does almost every cosplay she does is a sexy version of the cosplay.
Right.
I don't mind that, but I've seen her on various YouTube shows and various other mediums, and I'm not a fan of her person.
Like she's too
like
out there. She's too out there for me.
She's a little weird. She's weird.
Is she just like an attractive person who does cosplay, therefore it's attractive cosplay? Or does she take like just non-attractive cosplay people? Like is she taking like Rex from Mass Effect and like sexifying
before.
Rex?
She makes sexy cosplay. Imagine a sexy
She also well, let me clarify, because she has cosplayed as sexy characters who are like already sexy because they're video game women. And then she has made like non-sexy characters sexy, like Pokemon. And then and then she's just gorgeous regardless, so.
And Justin Negri?
Negri. Nigri.
Jessica Negri.
I don't know Justin.
I don't know Justin.
Justine, okay, Justine Negri. There we go.
No, Jessica.
Why did it sound like someone said Justin? I was so confused. Oh, what's going on?
She doesn't try to improve her skills. I think that's not true, Lady of Death, because you can see the progress of her cosplays. Like in the beginning, they were pretty flimsy, and now they're really good.
She did a great one for BlizzCon. I believe it was called the Ebon Blade.
Yeah,
and
I know she doesn't make
World
all
of Warcraft
of her
characters, but different.
Her last costume at BlizzCon was a mess. Why do you say that, lady? I'm confused. Because let me pull up a picture for everybody. Because it's
I've learned that if you just do a Google search, you will eventually find naked pictures of her. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, she does like boudoir.
If it's on the internet, there is naked pictures.
Rule 34.
Yep.
If it exists, there's porn of it.
You should see the ones of Becky.
Oh God, I do not want to see the ones of Becky.
No, I've seen them. They're good. They're good.
That was like instant nightmare.
Oh God.
Plat seen Becky's nudes.
It's true. They're good. They're good nudes. You know.
I mean, some of these are actually really good cosplay, and some of these are just very faintly gives you the idea of who she's trying to be.
Right.
Yeah, suggestive rather than actual.
I mean, really though, in the end, I don't like or dislike this idea. Like, whatever. Like.
Yeah, I found out today that people don't like her. Like, they don't think like Lady in our chat right now, because she's watching live, as should you if you're watching this on YouTube. They don't think she's like a good cosplayer. And like she's just like how there's female streamers who are booby streamers. She's a booby cosplayer essentially,
aka Becky.
This is her
only argument
BlizzCon.
The reason I always that usually doesn't bother me in most situations. Like, I really don't give a crap about booby streamers. I really don't give a crap about these kind of things. Only because, like, I don't feel like they're detracting from anyone else. Anyone who watches a booby streamer or watches, like, follows booby cosplayers, they weren't going to follow someone else who was not that in cosplaying or follow someone else who was not that in streaming. Like, that's a secondary medium for them to look at boobies or cleavage. So it doesn't bother me. Then I don't, like, people are like, oh, they take away. No, they don't. They were never gonna. Someone
they were
who
never
wants
gonna
to watch
you
booby
regardless.
Yeah, they were never gonna watch me. It doesn't affect most streamers. Like, I don't, like, I can understand, like, people who are professionals in it getting mad that someone is, like, kind of like mocking the profession to some degree. But, like, I don't know. In the end, it doesn't bother me. Like, I just.
Yeah, I think what most people have a problem is like you look at Twitch, and it was supposed to be a gaming oriented site, and then IRL came around, and that's where they all live. That genre of content, and I think there was just a lot of people that didn't like that at first, but I could care less either way, honestly.
Well, because again, that is a company broadening its market, not taking away. They're adding new options, which again, someone who's gonna watch like boobies, whatever's, or any of these things, weren't gonna watch this other thing over here. Like, it's just like the percentage that you would lose that might watch, you or me over her. Like, it's so insignificant. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, it just doesn't bother me. Like, I can understand people's arguments or complaints. Personally, I just whatever.
I get you.
You got what you got, and if you can sell it to make money, fucking do it.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, like my big thing is, like, at first I thought she was the whole like booby streamer thing, where I was just like, all right, like, is there anything like underneath that, essentially? And like seeing her in interviews, unlike Stealing, where it's like he differed, I was like, oh, she's a real person. Like, I like that she's weird because that's her personality, even though like we may not be friends like IRL. I'm like, oh, okay, so she has like a personality. She's not just her looks, and she's really weird, and I think she's really funny. I really like her personality.
Yeah, it's really easy to see. It's really easy with popularity to see one aspect of someone because that's what made them popular more often than not, and not realize until you get to know a person that there's a lot more there. Like, a good example. I think
people think she's fake.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, not a real, like, geek girl, and it's like, no, she really is, like, into this stuff. She's weird.
Like things like there was a clip recently of Joseph Gordon-Levitt talking about Magic the Gathering. And like, he has a binder and he's going through cards and he's talking about abilities and decks he used to do, and he's talking like he's been a professional player for like 30 years. I'm like, no one's ever like, he looks like a guy who loves Magic, but like, there's always more to people than you ever see, like, especially who are popular. You're given one or two aspects of them that make them popular. And they have all this stuff back here you never realize.
That's how Vin Diesel is with D&D.
Not even just Vin Diesel. Joe, whatever his name, the really big guy who's in the stripping movie.
Oh, Channing Tatum.
Well, the movie with Channing Tatum. There's a Joe guy. He also played like a vampire, or whatever. He's a very big guy. Loves D&D. He converted his entire basement to a massive D&D thing. He invites celebrities whenever he can. Like, there's all sorts of people who, like, you never. And again, he's like Vin Diesel. He's just this big jack guy, and you're like, he just likes lifting weights and talking about his muscles. That's all he does. And he's like, man, I've been playing D&D since second edition. I got a basement decked out. Like,
oh man.
Or like Ronda Rousey, who was UFC and now does like wrestling, like WWE or whatever.
Yeah.
She's played every Pokemon game there ever was.
Are you
She's
serious?
Yes.
Really?
She loves it. She's played them all. She's played Pokemon Snap. She's played she'll talk about it. She loves Pokemon. Like,
I believe Terry Crews is also a big PC gamer. He built, I believe, a PC with his children, and he plays when he has the time. He plays with his children. Yeah, that's also pretty cool. I mean, he's also a big, muscly dude.
Yeah, he started as a pro NFL player.
Moral of the story is, don't judge a book by its cover. That's it. Just don't be a dick,
It's the internet.
Or at the very least, don't look at your distance.
How dare you? This is what we're supposed to do. Oh my goodness. So, wolves.
Yeah.
Talking about
we're gonna talk
big,
about the
beautiful
duck.
things.
We're gonna talk about the duck. Bring up the picture.
Hold on, I don't have it ready. I'm sorry.
All right. So while she's bringing up the picture, so New York City recently, a mandarin duck showed up in Central Park. Like New York City Park Department is doing nothing about it. Visually, it looks healthy. They have no idea where it came from. It just kind of migrated there one day, and they're all convinced once it gets colder, it's gonna migrate away.
This duck?
But like, people are flocking to New York City to get pictures and see this duck. And there's like Twitter feeds, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's missing. Oh, it showed up on," and they give like cross street addresses, like where in Central Park. And then there's like lines of like thousands of people to like see this duck.
All right, I'm trying to get it nice and big so people
It
can
should
really
pop up
see
any
the beauty
second.
here. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get it like really big.
It sounds so dumb. You're like, "Oh, it's a duck. What's so special?" It is a gorgeous duck.
All right, we are. This is probably the biggest picture I've ever made.
Like, I now just wanted
It's
to
one
like.
of those duck where you
guys.
stop and turn around again to watch it, to be certain you saw it.
Yeah. Like, I really hope this duck is really horny and it starts breeding with all American ducks, and all American ducks look like this eventually.
This is
like,
the most
look at this
beautiful
thing.
duck you will ever see.
Look,
Oh my
look at
God.
this thing. It's crazy.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
I had mentioned it in like our chat that we had before we
it
started
should
the stream,
cosplay.
and I was like, "We can talk about this gorgeous duck," and everyone's like, "Holy shit, that is like,
It's a good one.
like, isn't it?
It is
insane."
beautiful.
So it migrated from nowhere, and they think it's gonna go.
Well, I mean, yeah, it just showed up, and they don't know where it came from. Like, it doesn't. Like, no one's like shown up to be like, "It's mine," or if they have to like, "Yeah, prove it." Like,
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like some like animal enthusiast is like, well, it came from, and they're just.
well,
like...
I mean, they know like geographically they know where it originates from, but they have no idea how it got here.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
I don't like it just showed up one day, and they're like, "This doesn't belong in this hemisphere." Like,
Oh my gosh.
so
I'm
like,
just surprised that everybody's so cool with it, honestly, because usually, out of
Well, see, it's
country
not the
animals,
internet;
they're
it's like real life. So people are cool
Yeah.
with things IRL. But once
So, yeah,
it goes
but,
on
like-
the internet, like I'm sure if you go to the subreddit, some person is just like, "This is the ugliest fucking duck I've ever seen."
probably, but yeah, like if
There's
you like
always
Google-
somebody that has to be the spoil sport.
Right?
yeah, but like if you Google, you'll see like lines of people waiting to get close enough to get their own photo of this duck. It's crazy, but yeah, but like I said, the Parks Department, like it's already like, basically integrated itself with the ducks that are there. Like it just kind of floats around with them, so they're convinced
Okay.
once it gets colder and they migrate to warmer temperatures, it's probably just gonna follow them.
So even the regular ducks are cool with this big beautiful duck.
Yeah.
We need to take some lessons from these ducks.
all
this
Although they-
different duck comes in and they're just like, "Yes, you are one of mine."
I'm
That
gonna
is not-
say be more like
Come,
ducks.
have some bread.
But if you've
The
ever
nice
watched
people
Z
throw it.
Frank's True Facts About Ducks, don't
Oh!
be more like ducks.
Yes, oh my gosh! When you put it in the Discord and was like, "Look at this duck," I'm like, "Can we please talk about their penises?" Like, because
Sorry,
it's
you want to
so
talk about
good.
their exploding corkscrew penises? Is that what we're going to talk about now? I know about this.
I
I'm
need
ready.
to pull up the link for
Where am
everyone
I?
in chat.
All right. For anyone
So-
who doesn't know, there's a YouTuber called Z Frank, ZEFRANK, and I think he has Z Frank 1. And for a while, like years ago, like 5-6 years ago, he started a series called True Facts.
It's
And he would
really
talk
good.
about animals, true facts about ducks, true facts about an eye, which is the one that got me into it. And like, it is educational, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah, and he
And
he narrates as Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So he got really popular, and he stopped doing that because he got hired by companies to do other things. Like he did the Sad Dog Diaries, the Sad Cat Diaries. Like he's the voice behind those. But recently, like a year ago or so, maybe a little bit less, he started back up. Like he started doing it again and stuff like that. But
Are
in
you
the original
serious?
series,
He's back?
yeah, he's back.
Is he
So
doing
good.
the series still?
He's still
1
doing.
week ago, true facts about dragonflies and damn selfies.
See?
Damn,
He's back.
I don't know what that.
Oh damn!
But yeah, so he has one
Oh
about ducks,
my
and like it's ducks are terrifying.
Ducks are great.
Although I'm not gonna
They're
lie,
so my
the
favorite.
picture of this duck looks like he's tired of your crap.
He's like, what the shit? You can't go anywhere without 100 photographers.
He's like, I'm done. I'm
He's
going
like,
back.
I can't wait till I migrate out of this joint. Let's
I'm
blow
going
this
back to
pop
China.
stand.
Forget this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
too
no, I
bad.
love Z Frank. True Facts. So
yeah,
good.
I do too. They're really, really good videos.
So like I said, the one that got me into was like True Facts about the I know it's one of his earlier ones. I don't know if it was his first or not. But like, there's a moment where he's like, to get the scale of an II, here's another II pictured next to a slightly smaller II, and like that line did me in. Like, I love this guy.
What is an II?
It's this weird marsupial with these big buggy eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Well, now you gotta watch the video so you can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I already bookmarked the
There you go.
last video.
There's a lot of them. You're gonna lose an entire day watching them, and you will not regret it. Oh, so good.
So, in other
Can't wait.
news of Valhalla, I know I kind of skipped over it, but we're going back to Valhalla because we love Valhalla. That's who we are. It was Richie Plays' last stream this last month. It was a lot of fun. If you guys tuned in, you got to see a drunk Richie and a drunk Plat play games together. It was a good
drunk
time.
Plat right before a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that's true. So that's why my 24-hour stream was late. It was 3 hours late because I had to sleep a little bit. I see no problem.
No
with this.
kidding.
I see no problem.
Shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Shot.
But no, it was a really fun time, and Richie,
Becky's
we
hair.
all. What's that?
Sorry, I had Becky's hair like stranded to me.
Oh, I was like, what? But he had his final stream, and he is coming back because I say so. And it was really cool because we a lot of people like made a farewell video for him, and so everyone said these like really nice words, and he was like, I think a few tears fell.
That was really nice.
It was
I
super
felt a
sweet.
little bit emotional.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
can't
gonna
wait for
lie.
when he unretires and we all make the fuck you for making us the sad video.
I like it. Let's do that.
Screw you, dude.
Yeah, Totes and I will get on it. I'm like,
We said nice things and you're actually back.
Exactly.
It's like giving a eulogy for someone who didn't die.
Yeah. Richie's
Damn.
stream is like. Yeah. Top 10 anime portrayals. Richie's stream when it comes back. But yeah, no, it was really, really fun. So if you didn't check it out, the VOD should still be there. So you should check out the VOD, especially just for that beginning portion when because he does a really nice speech about like being in Valhalla and like what Valhalla meant to him and what streaming meant to him and stuff like that. So it was like a really nice like speech, and we had the video, and then there was like more talking, and then we did shots, and then it was shots. It was a good time. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. And while we're on the topic of special streams, Stealing, are you doing something special?
That head bob.
That's how special it is. It needs something, you know. It needs a little head bob.
Anyway, yeah. One of my
just like so taken by my head bob.
It's one of my few streams that I've been doing recently.
Yeah,
on
you've
November
been streaming
20th.
a lot recently, actually. I feel comparatively.
Generally speaking, I've only been doing like once a month, but it increased a little bit. But yeah, November 20th, I will be having my big 3-2 birthday stream with hopefully Plat will be joining me. I know Outlaw will be joining me for a couple games. I'll probably be playing a metric crap ton of Fallout 76 because I'm mildly addicted to that game after the beta.
Brand, you and I aren't invited.
That's correct.
Yeah, you guys aren't invited.
Y'all are losers.
You want to play some other games together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll start our own gaming birthday stream.
With blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll be streaming for not exact time, but for a long while.
Nice.
Since I'm off, I mean, it's the week of Thanksgiving, so why not take it all off?
Yeah. Wow.
Enjoy it.
Are you stripping?
On the 20th?
You said you're taking it all off?
Oh, I'm taking.
Oh god.
Oh, stripping. Streaming.
At reaction time here.
It sounds like you guys don't need to have your own blackjack and hookers. We got it here. We got it on the party.
Oh no, that's in Valhalla after.
Oh, that's after dark. Oh, okay.
We gotta roll the shirt up. We'll turn the shirt into a crop top. Hold on, we just gotta roll it up.
That's on a completely different streaming site.
That's a different site.
Yeah, completely different site.
Nasu. Alrighty. Well, talking about, streams, let's get into the main topic. Let's talk about it. So, Stealing, you can start because this was really your idea. This was what you brought up. So, I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. So, everybody talks about why they get into streaming and how they keep your stream alive and fresh and well. But you don't hear too many people talking about the difficulties of streaming and the things you face while you're there. And I know that's something that a lot of us have gone through. Probably you've gone through it in your head by yourself, and not too many people just talk out about it. But it's something I've gone through, which is why I only stream every, maybe 2 to 4 weeks at a time these days. Is just the toll that it can take on you, especially when you have other things going on in your life, especially things that have been sort of outstanding. You're trying to fix, you're trying to get to a place in your life where, you're just happy, you're there. And streaming, unfortunately, can increase that stress. I know me personally, when I was on the schedule, at my peak, I was doing 5 days a week on top of my normal job.
Which is 40 hours at least.
Yeah, 40 plus hours a week plus 24/7 on call. So I could be called at any moment. Mm-hmm. It's just a complete stress in your life. For me personally, it got to the point where it's no games felt fun.
Yeah.
It felt every day when I had to come home and stream, the hardest button for me to hit was that go live button. It's just a mental struggle, and doing that and not being prepared for the type of that it involves, and the type of energy that you're constantly, because nobody wants to see me just sit playing games. You want to be engaging and
you want to be
actually have fun. You can't pretend like you're having fun because people are going to pick up on that. And I think a lot of people in our community have gone through that. We've lost a few streamers recently. Mm-hmm. And
Richie
all
included.
of them, yep, Richie included. And it's just something that to me is something that should be recognized and should be talked about more. And it actually makes I find when you talk about it, it becomes more bearable.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, because you're like, you know what? I'm not the only person that's like, wow, is it really this hard? Just should I be struggling this much? Because I got into streaming just because it's I was playing games anyway, so why not go live and maybe meet a few people?
Exactly.
In chat. And granted, streaming has led to some of the best friendships that I have. Some of the absolute best friendships that I have, and not even directly me just finding people and being in their stream. I look at how the founding Valhalla people, Outlaw, Undead, HP, I happened to meet up with them at a SGDQ. I had seen their names around, and those spawned into 3 amazing friendships that I have.
Yeah.
So would I change it? No, but I think it's important that we look at the stress and the constant thought that comes into if you ever start to do regular stream. Not just for fun once in a while.
And this isn't like a full-time stream, I guess. It's like the point where you put a set schedule out and you want to stream every day on top of your 40 plus hours or even your part-time job. And
Yeah, because I know a lot of people on Plat, you stream most days of the week.
Yep.
Wolves, I know you stream most days of the week, and I know you've been doing some things in your personal life, so it's sort of calmed down a bit. Grandkai, I know you're just starting your journey.
Congrats again.
Really?
Affiliate. You get to have high stress with the rest of us.
Great. Now I can be involved.
I mean, I know from my perspective, when you're trying to do it near enough to full time, there's a certain motivation when you have an actual 40-hour job that you can't just take a day off. You're limited. So like, oh, I don't feel well today, but I kind of have to go do it today. Or like you have a constant salary that keeps you constantly motivated. When you're trying to stream full time and you don't have those things, it's very easy to get derailed by what normally would be small things in life now feel bigger because you have time to handle those. So like, if something goes wrong, you can just be like, well, I guess I'm just not streaming today because I got to handle this thing in my life. Or I got to handle this thing in my life. And sometimes it's a struggle to remember, like, to treat streaming almost like a job, but a job you might love. But you got to sometimes try to keep like the schedule. And that then add stress to something that which you'd started because you just love it. And like you get this weird thing, like you're stressing out over something as a job, but you're not necessarily getting the income like a job. But you didn't start it to get the income. So like you start getting all these contradictory things. Like I'm going to do this because it's fun. I'm going to do it way more. I'm going to stick to a schedule. And then you're trying to like try to stick to the schedule, just adding stress. And like it just compounds itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Like my stress comes from Twitch does not pay a regular salary.
Yeah.
And so that's where my stress comes from, because like the point where I decided I'm going to be a full-time streamer and I'm going to do this like as my career, then it's like, okay, now I have to balance like selling out without selling out. Kind of thing, because it's like, how do I balance the perception that I'm selling out, and yet this is my career and I would like to earn some money from it, so that's where my stress comes from. And then of course it's the hanging on to Fat Mike Tizzle, who welcome in. It's being dependent on him because he is our source income. And I hate that. Like if something happens to his job, it's like, okay, we got to do something else because otherwise Twitch ain't going to cut it. And so I would say streaming regularly is pretty easy, but it's also easy because I don't have another job. This is it. And so streaming regularly in that regards is like easy, but then the stress is the decision making around it. And that I do stream so long, because I do 6 hours a day, that it's, in order to improve the stream, that's all work I have to do either before or after the 6 hours that I'm already doing. And so that's where those stresses come from. But like Wolf said, it's a job that you love. So it's like, let's just keep the ball rolling, baby.
And actually, on that point, or sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
On that point, like you said though, you stream your time, but you still, if you are a full-time streamer and that's what you are doing, you still have to put time into everything else. You have to put time to make sure improving your setup. The worst thing you can do as a streamer is become complacent in your stream. You can't just rely on the same thing and pray that it works out in the long run. So you're constantly changing things, trying to keep things entertaining, and that adds up to more than a full-time job. You're working more than what you would if you just had a standard 9 to 5 out there. So that's just added stress. It's like,
especially if you're someone who's not like me and actually spends time like networking. Like I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I know I've had a couple people like Wolves, you got to network more, and I'm like, yes. Not gonna, but you're right. Like
you're
I fully acknowledge you are 100% right, and I'm wrong. I'm not changing, but I agree with you.
Yes, I have the network.
That's so funny.
Because
it is true.
Like,
but
I first started streaming like irregularly, like when Black Flags came out, like on the PS4.
Okay.
So like that's why I first started kind of doing it regularly. And like I've been hanging out on Twitch channels since before then, but I don't talk. Like to me, it's like a TV show. Like I put it on and I watch. I close chat and I watch. And now with Valhalla, like I try really hard to be active in chats, but it's so easy just to go back to just watching. Like I've always been like background over here, and I watch them like nice, and then I go back to what I'm doing, where I can like type in chat.
Nice.
Like I gotta it takes such a conscious effort to do that sometimes. It's just not easy. And like that's another aspect of streaming that people don't realize is unless you're just lucky and just people show up like with minimal effort and you just take off, like you gotta put a lot of effort into even networking. And like for some people it's natural. Like I know Wames is really good at it. I know he puts a lot of work into it.
Wames is insane.
Yeah, he puts a lot of effort into it.
Most of his time on the channel.
Yeah.
But like the mental struggle that it might take Wames to do that will differ than the mental struggle it might take someone like me to do it. Like it's the same amount of work, but if his mentality is better suited for it, the work is easier.
Right.
But like so like those kind of things as well as people don't realize goes into it.
Yeah. So we've gone around and stated the stresses, but like okay, so like what are some solutions here? Like does anyone have like how do you deal with the stress? How do you you like so Wolves is
I haven't had that much stress as the rest of you because I'm not streaming since that long. I think half a year or something.
It's hobby phase
but
right now.
it's still hobby phase. But I do have had moments that I'm like, okay, I got stress from Twitch, and I'm like, oh wait, I need to clean this up, but I also want to stream, and that kind of stress from personal life. And when that happened, I said, okay, I need to step off from streaming. I need to get everything in order again. And when that's all smooth again, I'll start again, start streaming again. And now I'm slowly getting to that point again. And instead of stopping streaming, I'm going to do a little bit less.
Yeah.
So I do have time to clean up my apartment, to do this, to do that, and still have some time to stream.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious solution, which you can't just solve, is all stresses in life are not all, but a lot of them are easier with financial stability. Like, if I was making enough money just that I didn't need to worry about other money outside of streaming, a lot of the stress just disappears. Like a lot of it, because suddenly, like I said, I didn't get into it for money. I don't continue for the money. But the fact of the matter is, like, money is a concern. Like, we're living off just Queen's salary, which is why I'm now looking for full-time employment during the day, and I'm probably switch to like casual night streams. Is because you need financial stability in life. You don't need to be super wealthy, but you need stability.
Yeah.
And if you're a one-income household, like you and I, and the other person's solely responsible for financial stability, that adds stress.
Yeah.
And even though it's almost like it's not directly tied to the stream, but it directly influenced it because it's just a stress in life. And then you're doing this thing in the back of your mind, like, oh, this thing can make me money. I need this thing to make me money. And like, like I said, I don't want Twitch I don't want to be doing streaming for the end goal of being Shroud and making all this money. Like if I ever got there, hell yeah, but it's not what I'm trying to motivate.
Right.
But it's just trying to like the key is trying to find what you enjoy about it and trying to maximize or increase that aspect. Like I jump from game to game. I'll play a game for 2 streams and go to the next because that's who I am and I just want to play the next game. Like I'm trying to tell myself it's not about making the money. It's about having fun, playing games, and enjoying the people that show up. And I constantly try to remind myself of that. So
that's a good point. I always say that. Like that's my number one rule of Twitch because I feel like a lot of new streamers, like baby naive new, will be like, "What game should I play?" As in, what game should I play to get more viewers and grow faster? Is like the question they're asking. And my number one rule is play what you're passionate about. Because you will find other passionate people who like to see your passion. And people are just drawn to passion, to take a line from La La Land. But, like, it's true. And nobody is, like, people click on the game first and then fall in love with the streamer. Unless it's, like, a host or whatever. But, And so then if they're clicking on a game that they love and you're frustrated or you hate it, then they're probably not going to stick around. And so that's always like my number one rule is play games that you like to play. And then yeah, that's always just my number one rule.
Yeah, otherwise the answer is try to accurately predict which beta game is going to be the next big game and start then.
Yeah, because you want to catch it before it's concentrated.
Yeah, because if you want to do Call of Duty or even Overwatch still to some degree, like there's thousands of people streaming it. You're so far down on that list. Like there's no like even if we wanted to correctly answer that, guess correctly what's going to be the next big game.
Right.
And like, even that's not enough.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, like it doesn't work for everyone, but like
the bigger streamers are already getting access to those games. So yeah. And like go ahead.
So I was gonna say, like, streamer I've referenced in this one thing before is Moon, whose full name is Moon OW for Overwatch, and that's how he started. He started playing Overwatch. He hasn't played Overwatch in months, but he still gets 10,000 regular viewers, and he's now a variety streamer. He plays just random games whenever he wants. He built up his fan base in one game and then jumped ship, and that's what a lot of people want to emulate. But it's like he started a couple years ago when Twitch wasn't as big as it is now. He picked a game which there probably weren't as many people streaming as there are now, and he got lucky. Like, but lucky is the key thing. Like, there's a comedian singer, Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
He was asked about like they're like the keys to success or the keys to getting famous, stuff like that. And he's like, you can't ask me or someone like Taylor Swift like that. That's like asking about like winning the lotto. It's like, I'll just pick the right numbers and boom, you're done. Like it's like you got lucky. Like you can't Yeah,
he says don't look up to me because I got lucky.
Yeah, it's like don't ask a lotto winner like how to get success. It's like sell all your assets, buy a lotto ticket. It works. Yeah. Like that's a perfect example. Like if you try to you can't just look at someone's famous go, what do I need to do to be you? It's like get lucky. Yeah. Like obviously there's skill, there's talent, but like there's thousands of people with similar skill and similar talent to some of these famous people, but they got lucky in that aspect. Like
it's true. Stealing, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, for the overall conversation, is don't set your expectations too high out of the gate. If you're coming into it to make money, you're gonna be disappointed because unless you are that fraction of percent that gets super lucky and skyrockets to the top, you're not gonna make the money that you need to survive.
What do you think is how many percentage of streamers do you think make 30,000 a year or more?
Yeah, we'll just say a livable wage. I would say less than 5%.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Less 5% of streamers make it like.
Because there are what
stable
2 million, I think, active streamers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Only a few of them. If you go to any game, there's only a small few that have the viewership and the subs and the donations to actually provide that. That's why so many streamers that do manage to make a living off the content don't just do streaming. They supplement it with other content creation sites like YouTube and make money off of videos like that because it's not something that's going to happen. I would also say if you're getting into it to have fun, don't lose sight of it.
Yeah.
Admittedly for me, the affiliate program screwed up a lot of stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
It put that money aspect out there, and then you start worrying about viewers, and I didn't care as much about getting subs, but then I'm like, okay, well, here's this goal. Well, now it's like, oh, I've achieved this. Let me set on the next goal, which the only next goal after that is partnership, which has crazy requirements,
ridiculous
for my
goals.
Standards.
I can't even tell you how many sub or sub points I have. I just try not to pay attention. I try so hard not to worry about it. Like I said, sometimes I'm like, how many do I have? I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Because even in the community, I'm like, I wonder how many they have. What are they doing? I'm not. Like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Like, I just don't look. I have not a clue in the world. It could be 2. It could be 80. I mean, I know it's not 80, but it could like
It could be 2, it could be 80. Well, I know it's not 80.
Well, I don't actually know the number, and I don't want to look. I don't want to
Yeah.
put it on my stream.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like constantly looking. Like I've talked about this, Toddy. Every now and then, Toddy's told me like, "Oh, put like a dono goal on your stream," and I'll do it for a little bit. But then like I don't like it'll sit at 0 for like a couple of streams, and like you start to focus on that, and I'm like,
Right.
but I don't want to. I don't want to care about the money. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like so, I get rid of it again. Like I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah, I get you.
I think one of the best things I did so far for me was turn off that viewer count, because in the beginning I was really looking at like, oh, how many viewers do I have? How can I increase it? And since I turned that off, I'm just talking and doing my own thing. And maybe I have 1 viewer, maybe I have 10, and they don't talk. I don't care. I'm just having fun in the game that I'm playing and having a great time. And I don't focus on that aspect, because what you just mentioned, if I focus on that, I can be disappointed, or I'm going to make everything of that, going to make sure that everything in that aspect goes up, and I don't need it to really go up. I want to, but it's not a main priority. Yeah,
priority.
Main goal.
Yeah.
I mean, and you even without having it constantly up, you learn things eventually. You learn when you got affiliate, you at least averaged 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's well, there you go. You know you have at least people are watching on average. That's all you need to know. Like a rough idea. You know, people are there. People
75.
are watching.
75. Yeah.
70.
But it's it's great. There's
like,
a lot of
I was like, Plat is like the closest of any of us to that goal. Is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the sad part is a lot of partners today that were pre like this whole achievement thing.
Yeah.
Don't even meet those requirements.
Yeah.
And it's and I mean it's a steep goal, but if that's what you're going for, go for it. But you can't
it's
focus
so
on
funny.
numbers.
You like see partners and they have like 10 viewers, and you're like, what?
They got in before.
What happened?
Because like previously the metric was here, and everyone didn't like that, so they brought a lower metric here and raised this one up here. So now people get the barrier to entry is much lower, but the barrier to success is much higher.
Yeah, and I completely ditto what Grant said. That was like one of the first things that I did, where it like hid the viewer count or hid the viewer lists and stuff like that. That totally changed like how I streamed and my attitude on streaming, because you're not constantly seeing that number, even if you don't want to. You know, like I was like trying to avoid it, and then it's just like having it hidden is so nice. You're just being you know, no matter who's in there. So it's really, I highly recommend it, especially if you're noticing that you look at the number and it's changing how you're thinking. Because you're, you know, upset that it may be lower than you expected or something.
So I agree with that for. Sorry, I was gonna say I agree with that for new streamers, but I actually streamed like for like a solid year before they really even had like the affiliate thing. So I got so used to seeing 0 or 1 on my stream that now like I've just tuned that out.
You're
but like,
oh baby,
I agree for now. Like,
new.
Turn it off. It's so nice. Like,
yeah,
like it's one less stressor. But sorry, Grand, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just trying to say, like my camera is right above the viewer count. So every time I'm looking at my camera, I used to see the viewer count right below it. So that's also a reason why I said, nope, gone. I don't want to see it. It just messes me up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then one last point I would like to point also is don't get discouraged by the small things. If you get lucky and get a 30 plus viewer host or raid from somebody, you don't get a single follower out of it or anybody even sticks around, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
It's just that those people were at that streamer for their content.
Right.
You're a completely different person, a completely different entity. You're going to find your own. Yeah. You have to find your own people if you're looking for viewers.
Yeah.
But don't focus on it. Just play your games.
And a lot of times those 30 people aren't even there. I can't tell you how many times like I've like been lurking in like someone's stream, but I've like left for the day, and I come back. I'm like, whose streams have I been? I was in this person's stream for a bit. I was like, I looked through the raid messages, and I apparently went through like 5 different streamers. I'm like, oh, like
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That's actually how I found one of the best streams on Twitch. Was I left, like I completely left the room and I came back and all of a sudden there was a sock puppet on my on my screen and I was like, what the heck is this? And I didn't have the sound on at first, and so the sock puppet was like going like that, and I was just like, I was watching a music streamer. Is this a music streamer? So I turn on the volume, and sure enough, the puppet is singing to like lip syncing to like an audio recording of a song, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? And then it's like super dramatic and like really high quality, and so the puppet, like it's like this ballad, and it falls on the floor, and it's just like, you're not gonna think. And then I was like, and the whole time I'm just like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But I was like mesmerized. And then the song ends, and the puppet kind of like flops on the ground, and the lights go out, and I'm like, did the puppet just die? I think the puppet died, like, because it's like not moving at all. And then all of a sudden, another puppet comes out, and it's like a girl. And all of a sudden the song starts, and she's like, and another one bites the dust. And it like looks at the other puppet, and I'm like, oh my god. And I was done. I was like, and that's when I posted it in my Discord. I was like, everyone needs to follow this immediately.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I was like, this is the best.
I love when you start watching something, you're like this is dumb. Why would I watch this? Like hours later, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was mesmerized. I watched it for like 30 minutes. It was amazing.
Like for me, like it's not as nearly as entertaining story, but curling was that for me.
Curling is awesome.
I did like a long weekend in Canada, and like it was early in the morning. It was like -20 out. We're waiting for it to warm up a little bit before we go get crepes. And I turned on TV and curling was on. I'm like, why? It's just like shuffleboard and ice. Why do people even 4 hours later, oh my God, hook it, yeah! I'm like, I have no idea why I love curling. It, like when you describe it, it's the most boring thing. But like 4 hours of me just watching, like, come on. Like, freaking.
Yeah, I love curling. Like, I get excited for the Winter Olympics because of curling.
There's a World Curling YouTube channel that I just discovered, and I recently just watched Australia versus New Zealand.
And?
New Zealand won. New Zealand won their 3-1 versus Australia, which is now 1-3.
Nasu.
Oh, damn.
I wouldn't expect either one of those countries to have a national team, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, New Zealand, I think it was New Zealand, doesn't actually have a curling ring they can practice on, so they need to practice like elsewhere. But like, it's like the Jamaican bobsled team. They got
I was gonna say, yeah, they just go down the hill
running.
Yeah. But no, but going back to our main discussion, like, so, you know, if you're dealing with some struggles, if you're dealing with stress, my big thing is to find balance. So, like, especially if you're thinking of Twitch like a job, or yeah, that's essentially it. If you're thinking about it like, oh, like I have to keep this schedule, and I want to, like, you know, you're kind of starting to think about it as like, this is what I want to do regularly, and I want to make a quality product to entertain people. What Stealing said, don't forget about the joy and like why you started in the first place. You probably started because it was ridiculously fun to talk to strangers on the internet. And then I would say to find balance. So don't let it consume you, because it can easily do that, as there is always something to perfect about your stream or tweak about your stream or change as the seasons go on, like I like to do. And it's to find the balance outside of Twitch, you know, have real IRL friends, have, you know, if it's exercise, if it's your creative outlet outside of Twitch, etc. That would be my big thing, is find that stress, like, release, because that's what you would do on a normal job. So why not do it for Twitch?
And normal jobs have vacation time, sick days, personal times. Take those for real life too.
Yeah.
They're important.
Yeah. Even if you don't get the benefits.
Yeah.
No.
You don't get paid time off, but
yeah, you need your time to just reflect on life.
Yeah.
Catch up with things.
Yeah. That would definitely be my thing. All right. Well, guys, can you believe it? We've been talking for an hour. I'm actually shocked. I looked at the time. I totally lost track of time.
On to hour number 2.
Going at. Let's make a 24-hour stream, baby.
I'm on it. You know, I just recently learned what proving means. I've watched 6 seasons of Great British Bake Off, and I just learned what that means.
Yeah, I thought that was a British term.
Proving the dough?
Yeah.
Proving dough. Like, I know it. I didn't know why that word. I didn't know why the word proving.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Because it rising proves that the yeast is working. So they call it proving.
Yeah, it's
I only learned
you
that.
let the dough just sit there and it rises and doubles.
Well, yeah, I know. Like
I know what it was. I didn't know why they called it that.
Yeah, it was why that word. Because it proves the yeast is working, so they use the word proving to prove it. I learned that because they just Netflix has 4 seasons of Great British Bake Off on Great British Bake Off, and then they added 2 new seasons as they've aired. So there's now 6 seasons. But there's way more seasons of that of Great British Bake Off. But Netflix is only given access to the 4 old ones and then the 2 new ones. They were just given access to earlier seasons, but they couldn't just tag them on there because it's going by seasons and technically belongs over here. Right. So now they added Great British Bake Off Beginnings, where they can just add seasons as they're given access from over there. And in that season, she said why it's called proving.
But I'm confused because it says season 1, but the beginning monologue, like the judge says, it's going to be really difficult this year. As in they've had previous seasons. Because
Netflix's architecture just basically, any set of episodes, it calls it a season. It doesn't actually have to follow with the real world season number.
Right, but on the...
So they're calling it season
like
1 because
it does say season 1, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because that's the first season that's the earliest season they had access to, so they called it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they tagged on.
That's
but now
dumb,
they called
because
it
they didn't do that for Jeopardy. They say like season 28.
I don't know. It's what they chose to do this time. I don't know why, but now that they had to come up with Great British Bake Off Beginnings to now tag on other seasons as they get access to them in whatever order they're going to get access to them.
Well, I was excited. It said like new episodes, and it had Great British Bake Off, and I was like, "What?"
Yep, you have 1 season of old episodes, and then the new season that just finished.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if we'll get that one for a while, right? Or did that come on too?
No, that one the one that literally just finished in Britain like 2 weeks ago, whatever, is now on Netflix.
Oh, this isn't good for my challenge because I get really hungry watching this show.
Yeah, so there's like I said, there's 2 seasons available on Netflix right now. An old season that has Mary Berry in it
right now, yeah.
And then the new season that just finished airing.
They usually wait so much longer. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, they got it basically instant.
Oh, you guys have no idea how much I love this show.
No, I have an idea. Clearly, I have an idea.
I'm getting a good idea.
It's so good. I've tried to explain
these
to
two
my
down
mother.
here just don't care.
They don't get it.
And they're wrong. Right?
I've tried to explain. I'm like, Mom, it's so good. She's like, why? I'm like, it's so British. Like, I can't explain.
You guys keep your Great British Baking Show. I'll keep my MasterChef Junior.
I hate kids.
Oh, it's I hate kids.
I hate kids.
Let's not take your personal.
You're judging a group of people. You have to add for a kid onto it. You ain't good. I don't care. If you're good,
basically
you suck. You're not good. I know. Yeah. I watch AGT. Every kid act. I hate them. If the judge just goes, "Here's a really great act for a 5-year-old," I'm like, then it's crap. Get out of here.
Get out. Yeah.
If you need to add that condition at the end of it, it's not good. Done.
I get you.
Wolves.
But they don't
about that whole tweet you posted with the X and the failure. Can we talk about that?
Oh yeah.
What?
So how the hell can you?
So has anyone here ever watched Forged in Fire?
I don't even know how they can do that.
Oh, I skimmed through it. I do want to talk about this because Wolf's just tweets and it's just like, I'm bored. I'm going to watch this show and I'm going to give my notes. So bugger off.
The fun part.
I'm planning more of those. I'm planning more of those, by the way.
If you continue, you go near the end. You see, oh yeah, I'm at the end of at how many sentences I can post. Okay, yeah, well, I'm wrapping it up.
That made me laugh out loud when you were like, I'm at my limit for stream, like to stream a tweet, so bye.
So Discovery Channel just released their counter show to Forged in Fire called Master of Arms. And instead of having 4 contestants, they have 3. Instead of 3 judges and a host, they just have 3 judges. But like, I don't understand what their criteria is. Like Forged in Fire, if you have a critical failure, you're done. There's no moving on to the next round. Your blade failed to meet the criteria. Get out. And one guy had a critical failure in both rounds and still got on. Like he had to make an axe, and he did a forged weld. So it's basically you take 2 pieces of metal, you get them really hot, you bang them together, and you force a weld here to make it 1 piece. His forged weld broke. It's separated. That is a critical failure. He still got through that round. Like the forged weld did not stick. He got through. That's BS. Then the final round, he had to turn that axe into a flintlock axe. While he was chopping, a piece of wood snapped off because he's like, this cracked while I was making it. Glue should help. Surprise, the glue didn't help. A piece of wood broke off, and he still ended up winning. I'm like, you had a critical failure both rounds. What is your judging criteria?
Right.
It broke. His weapon broke both times. And the other guy was like, your axe head is a little loose. It's still freaking attached, isn't it? I'm like, Mr. Breaky Handle over here.
Mr. Breaky Handle over here. That is the best nickname. Mr. Breaky.
And the whole idea that what did you say again? It was something like, oh, I have an axe. Do I need to chop wood with it? What else are you going to use the axe for?
Yeah. The first they all made axes, and then he just had a plank of wood. He's like, I'm gonna chop this wood with their axe. And they're like, oh god, I hope my axe holds up. It's like, what'd you build the axe to do?
Well, I guess it's like it's cosmetic over substance, right? Because they're like, it looks really cool. Because I'm assuming it's got to look cool and different.
That's not a stated criteria.
Oh. That's
what I mean. Like, even Forged in Fire never states that. Sometimes people will go, I'm really confident in my construction, so I'm going to do a couple things so that if we're evil in construction, I want to win with mine looking better. And I can understand that logic. Right. You know, I've sharpened as sharp as it's going to get. I've done everything I can do. Let me try to now make it look good.
Okay.
But, like, that's not a stated criteria. It's not like you get points for how authentic it looks. You get points for – they never state that. It's like, make it to do this function. And that's what Forged in Fire cares about. Yours could be the prettiest thing in the world. If it breaks, critical failure, you're gone.
I get you.
Yeah.
That makes it even crazier that this guy won.
Yeah. So, like, no.
Was the other things he made all that great? Besides the critical, like, it was enough to get him through even though he had a critical failure?
I personally don't think so, but, like, I don't know. The judges apparently disagreed.
Right.
The judges were, oh, that's the prettiest. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no. I was very mad with episode 1.
I could
There was only episode 1?
That was episode 1. That was the first episode out of the gate.
That was the other thing that I was laughing at.
Please, every episode do that.
I will.
Please, every episode do that.
It was so long that I was like, is this over like a whole season?
No, that was one episode.
It was just like the arc of this guy, like going from like episode to episode, and he's like keeps getting critical failures, and then he wins the end.
No, say I used to do this with my friends because we have a group chat, and I did it when I first started watching Forged in Fire. And it gets to be a point where like you become a couch expert.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you put the whiteout in, you didn't let it dry. Of course, your canister's is gonna stick. You gotta let that shit dry first. What are you like?
I can't believe you.
like I become a couch expert. So
I get you. I get you. So you can look forward to that on Wolves Twitter.
Yeah. I will be doing more Wolves Watch Twitch stream. Twitch.
Oh, you got
Twitter
Wolves Watch.
or whatever.
That works.
So.
That works.
I sort of want you to watch Haunting of Hill House. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Oh my gosh, I would love to hear.
I will add that to my things to watch.
Who needs YouTube react channels? You can get Twitter reacts.
Yeah.
Just play-by-tweet tweets as I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And he has to fit it in the stream count. I had no idea there was even a limit.
I didn't either. While I'm watching, I'm going through cutting and pasting into previous ones to make them longer to give myself more at the end as I'm trying to watch. Oh yeah, there's a lot of like, it's like certain tweets that were originally going to be one line became more because I had to cut and paste my way up to free more at the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
It was hectic. It was a crazy.
Oh yeah.
So as we wrap up here, guys, thank you so much, first of all, for being here, Stealing, Grand. Thank you. I hope you had a good time. And we can go around the same way we introduced ourselves. You can kind of go around and if there was something you wanted to promote or talk about that's like happening this month for you, this would be the time. So Wolves, if you would like to start us off, if you have anything.
Hey, I mean, I don't know of anything. I'm going to try to watch more shows and tweet my reactions.
I'm so excited.
At some point this month, I want to try The Witcher's Thronebreaker that just came out.
Okay.
So I might try that and put a pause on Red Dead because I love Witcher.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about that. That's really all I got. I don't have anything else happening. My birthday stream is December, so I'll talk about that more next stream.
Okay.
Next podcast.
No worries.
That's it for me.
And Stealing?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I have my 32nd birthday coming up, so I'll be doing a stream on November 20th, and playing some games with some of the fine folks of Valhalla, and just having all around it's like we always do. And besides that, I have nothing else going on. And since I won't talk to you guys, you all have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S.
Yeah.
Grandkai?
Thanksgiving
episode.
Thanksgiving, I don't get it. Oh wait. Oh, sorry, the phone suddenly went off. Things I have this month. New overlays incoming.
Ooh.
So that. I mean, I already posted some in the Valhalla Discord.
Oh, nice.
I meant to respond. I think you should make the beer red like yours instead of white.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, but this is not red.
Isn't it
this
blonde?
Is a blonde, dark blonde, something.
Oh, I don't know colors.
He's colorblind.
Nah,
he's colorblind.
It's something.
I took a guess. I was wrong.
It was. I mean, you were close.
Close.
It
It's
could
a
be
light.
like a strawberry blonde. It was close.
No, but besides that, not anything yet. I don't think I'll be doing a celebration stream this month. Will probably be in December, but I don't know when exactly. So can I also promote like, oh yeah, you can follow it here, or is it?
Go ahead.
So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Amsterdam time. I think that's the easiest way to say it. I'm doing Mario Kart, and the rest of the week it's Darksiders to get ready for Darksiders 3.
Nice.
I really want to play that game. Finally, after 5 years or something, I think it is. Crazy lark.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's for me.
And then normally I don't actually promote too much. However, we're doing the Holiday Challenge, which I think the community is really liking, and I'm absolutely loving. So what Holiday is it's just a motivation to work out during the holidays, and so it's essentially like just getting out and doing something a bit more healthy than you would have normally. So whether that means just drinking a green smoothie, having chicken instead of red meat, going out and running when you would have walked, etc. It's doing something a little bit more healthy for the holidays, as I know it's really hard during the holidays, especially for the U.S., who has Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's lots of food and lots of alcohol. And so it's just to be more fit and get motivation, because it's a whole community doing it together. And so if you want to join the community, I post regularly on my Twitter and my Instagram about like progress and stuff like that, and you can join by just doing it and then tweeting about it with hashtag #HolidayChallenge. And so it's been really, really fun, and I've been really enjoying it. So that's kind of what I'm promoting.
A lot of people are joining.
A lot, like way more than I thought. I'm so excited. I thought it would be like me and Richie. And so it's really exciting that it's more than just Richie and myself. But yeah, so this concludes our Valhalla's Most Wanted podcast. Thank you all for joining. I hope you guys were entertained.
Bo wrote in Dutch in chat.
Yeah, I saw it.
thoughts? Is it good? Is it Google Translate?
It's good. It basically is in Dutch. It's je bent geweldig, and that basically means you are awesome.
Aw, well that's nice.
That is nice. Thank you, Mr. Poe.
On a side note, I looked over and saw "get bent," which is English colloquialism, and it's not nice.
Get bent.
I just looked over and was like, "Get bent, Grant." I was like, "Dude." I was like, "Oh wait, no, there's more."
Oh wait, hold on. It's nice. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, a while back,
Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate you all, and we will see you next month on December 3rd.
Second.
I think it's right. Second.
somewhere.
Second.